Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back with another, I guess you could say, delayed replay of a high MMR game it looks like we're going to have in the top lane. Let's see here. Can't tell with the new skin. It's got to be Nidalee. It's got to be Nidalee. Is it? Am I right? Come on. I know I'm right. Anyway, going up against Kale in the top lane, and our jungler is going to be Jarvan 5, or excuse me, Jarvan 4, excuse me, as well as Nocturne. And this is actually pretty early in the game, so I'm hoping this is going to have a lot of action. And let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Score 0-0. Both teams have even gold spread, so I mean, this is as good as joining from the very beginning, in my opinion. It's just that the real problem is you can never see, did one side of the map actually try to invade the other, or something else of that nature. So, Draven, one of my favorite ADCs, to be quite honest, but of course, watching this level of MMR play with Draven, you can really tell what he's going to be doing individually speaking, as well as the builds that you can go with him. It would definitely behoove you to pay very special attention to what he is building. Doran's Blade start, I'm more than inclined to say that he's gone for vampiric runes, lifesteal runes, and that'll actually help his sustainability, even though his speed, it's going to be a little difficult for him to escape. The only real difficulty in the bottom lane is, of course, watching for ganks in the early game and things of that nature. So far, it looks like we have Orianna kind of stuck under turret there, doing her best to last hit. CS at this stage for her is looking pretty good, despite the fact that she's stuck under turret. Actually better than her mid lane opponent, Mind Rack. Nocturne playing oh so patiently, trying to keep from overcommitting, really. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is a low health Nocturne. He's not going to be able to make any ganks happen anytime soon in the near future. But this is a bit of a nasty engage we have at at bot lane. I mean, you know, we have to see, basically, Draven, he's not really backing off too much. I really like this, actually. This is actually kind of a bold move coming from the blue team, the blue team's ADC. And it looks like Nocturne's just going straight for top. This could result in a gank soon, I guess, perhaps. But we've already got a warning ping not to go. Oh, and that's a nice pick off. First blood goes to Draven. Kudos, too. Our player from the blue team, the Soup Kitchen. The Soup Kitchen. I wonder why. Does he ask for donations on his stream for riot points? I wouldn't find it entirely illogical whatsoever. But unfortunately, it looks like we still have our Orianna playing it safe. And now it looks like top lane. Oh man, this is overdue for a gank, and it looks like Nocturne's coming in for it. He doesn't have his ult just yet. And for now, we'll see Kale living on in the near future. For the near future. And Nocturne, oh wow, he's playing this out really, really patient. Okay. Well, back to the bottom lane. Draven's kind of low health, but of course he's got those lifesteal runes. That's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. And of course, Janna's shield is going to help keep him alive a little bit longer too. Always helps out. That kind of support is always great. And now here we go, Nocturne trying to go toe-to-toe with our Kale yet again. Not quite getting it like he should. He did cause a taunt or a fear that caused Kale to run in the opposite direction. And so far, everything's just kind of taking shape in the early game. Now, of course, one of the more important phases of this game is figuring out just who's going to get the gold for the dragon. At this stage, excuse me. So far, you know, nothing else to say besides this game taking shape. The CS right now is actually particularly high for Ezreal and Orianna, despite the fact that Orianna is actually, you know, kind of forced under turret for a while. If I was reading that correctly. I'm only Bronze 2, guys, so please forgive me for calling that out wrong if I did so. But now, Jarvan 4. Going through that tri-bush will yield no results. It is warded, of course, and as long as Zyra reacts appropriately, she'll be able to get away. But will she be able to get away from this Draven? Oh my god, is that a... Oh my god, the mistakes! The throws. That's the second kill for our blue team. Draven, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually his second kill already. So he's getting particularly fed, if you will, at this stage in the game. So adding this all together along with his CS, it's going to allow him to build his equipment much, much faster. And let's just go back to him and check up and see what he's got so far. Okay, wow, he's already got the BF sword. And Ezreal's having a bit of trouble getting away from him. Crankle Warrior! Okay. But Nocturne coming in, gonna try and perhaps avenge the support that fell just a minute ago. No, wait, that was such a perfect Zephyr coming from Janna. And now, look, wait, are we going to see Nocturne get away? Yes, because Draven is not yet level 6. Even if he was, unfortunately, he's I think, relatively Let's check that out. Yeah, it takes, I think, 150 energy to actually light that off at level 6. Alright, so now, oh man, there it is, the ult going down on Draven. They're going to try and get a pick off on him, but I somehow feel like, okay. I thought perhaps for a minute he would have gotten away, but I didn't know if he had burned his flash or not. And Janna is now the soup of the day. Will Nocturne be consuming this or not? No, it looks like, she just gets that clutch escape back to top lane, however. It's a different story, of course. Amazingly enough, I believe this Kayle has stayed alive long enough to not die at all. Let me see. I'm looking, actually. Yeah, no deaths. Particularly high CS, so really good job so far. And what about Nidalee back in return? This little twisted tango. Yeah, I mean, Kayle comes out in the lead, more or less. So Nocturne, with or without throwing down that ultimate, it's a little difficult to say if he'll be able to really help top lane in the near future. I have to stop and think about his abilities. Of course, he can blind all of his opposing team's members simultaneously, which makes it difficult to figure out just who is going to fall first. But Jarvan 4 coming in to try and seal the deal on this gank. And Nidalee actually forced to run back towards turret just a minute. And that, the nice pick off right there. But Jarvan's not going to overcommit to killing Nidalee. And in so giving himself away to Nocturne. So Nidalee lives to fight another day, giving the purple team a little bit of an advantage at top lane. So this is really going to build into the mid-game when the team fights all come together, and somehow in all of that, we've managed to see the purple team bring it back to 3 kills. Amazing performance at bottom lane. And will Zyra fall again? The ultimate goes down. Draven gets it, and will he get the double kill on Ezreal? It looks like he will. He does! Good job, Draven! Really, kudos to Nixian. Can't say it enough. Playing out so patiently. And honestly, it was all about, that was no assistance whatsoever. That simply shows how far ahead Draven is at this stage in the game. Now, the significantly difficult thing about controlling Draven in comparison to, say, other ADCs is the fact that he doesn't really have a secure escape. He has his E, which will temporarily stun his opponents and make them slow down just a little bit. But of course, he's mainly just meant to deal out a ton of damage all in a single volley or a single set of volleys from his spinning axes. Now wait, this little encounter between Draven and Nocturne teaming up with Ezreal correctly, it could unleash a lot of damage, but it looks like Nocturne is forced to back off for the time being. Janna throwing down her Zephyr again, trying to help Draven escape. Doesn't quite work out. Orianna coming in for the shield on Nocturne, and that is a double kill for the purple team. A double pick off, whatever have you, but not a double kill to any single character. Good job by, if I'm not mistaken, Nocturne and Ezreal there. Excuse me, I do have a bottle of vitamin water right next to me, and that's going to help me recover from my cold just a little bit faster. It's mostly dissipated, no fever whatsoever, and I'm not sneezing nearly as much as I was before. Alright, so Kayle, I don't know, jeez. Purple team, I mean, altogether, if we just examine where the kills are right now, Draven on the blue team has basically gotten all the kills. He's the one who's most fed. If it was 1 kill per each player, it would be a little bit better, and it looks like this could help out just a little bit more. Orianna scores her own first blood. Excuse me, wow, Orianna. Mindrak scores his own first blood. And that's going to help out in the team fights later on. 8 PCs. I mean, they're not just about dealing damage solely to one character or another, but rather groups of characters all at the same time. And the question is, can they or can they not adequately spread out their damage enough? Looks like we're going to have Wait. Ooh, no? Okay. Wait. Nocturne smells blood, but it's too late, unfortunately. Mind Rat goes back to Fountain, buys equipment, pay attention to the builds, boots of mobility on Jarvan. Don't know quite what to make of that, as I'm only a Bronze League player, and I've never actually played as Jarvan, so I can't really tell you guys what he's trying to build. But of course, you know, Hex Drinker, that's gonna increase Kayle survivability versus Nidalee in top lane. At least in the short term. And now, this is actually wait. Oh, unfortunately, it looked like Nocturne didn't want to really go in and gank that. I'm not entirely sure why. But I guess... that's why, okay. Because if he had given chase to Draven, then Ezreal would have been forced to give chase as well. And the decision-making there, I mean, that's better safe than sorry thinking, and I like it. Oh. But a blue ward there, and that nearly got Draven the blue buff. I wouldn't say quite so clutch, but definitely worth his time to at least try and steal it. Prevent his opponent from getting it. Okay, so back to top lane. It looks like Kayle is basically forced to under turret for the time being. And Draven's going to continue pushing bot lane. And we still have, I guess you could say, a single equal-sided kind of fight going at mid lane. Of course, Orianna being behind went ahead and bought a second Doran's Blade to increase the AP that she has, as well as the regeneration. But wait, it looks like... Oh my god, Jarvan's waiting for that pick-off. Is he going to get it? He does, and it looks like Nocturne could have a bit of trouble trying to get away from that. Orianna's ball going in for the save, however. Will it be enough? It looks like it is. But, oh man, that's such a good pick-off there. Double kill there for Orianna now, I think. And an excellent save there by Ezreal. That is so clutch. It really is. Some of those pickoffs, and it looks like Nocturne's going to come in here and try and steal Draven. The ball goes in, and it gets twisted around a flash in the wrong direction by Draven. And it looks like Orianna is kind of forced out of the fight for the time being. But if we see Janna throw down in that tornado, it'll keep her and Draven alive just a little bit longer. Will Draven be able to get away from this? It looks like not! Double kill for Purple Team yet again, increasing their lead by another 1.3k gold. Top lane turret falls. That's primary tier. First tier turret, excuse me. And it looks like Nidalee is not going to overcommit to trying to kill his opponent top lane. Johnny Cares versus Thrancat, excuse me. Quick strike 007 stuck under bottom turret. Unfortunately, can't really outrange Ezreal. I mean, with the support there, it's going to be very difficult for him to actually effectively engage Ezreal. So, and likewise, I mean, Ezreal and his support are not going to waste time in trying to get their equipment any better. What is he building right now? Ezreal, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed witch that teleports. Alright, so basically everything AD, except for Sheen. I can't quite see what he's going to use Sheen for later on in the game. Ezreal's one of my characters that I don't really play a lot. But overall, excellent coverage by both sides of the map. No one side of the map actually definitively winning over the other, but I like the fact that we have the purple team support going ahead and throwing down pinks everywhere. And are we going to see a pickoff here from our middle lane characters? Ooh, 1 for 1. Not quite worth the time of Mind Rack, if I'm not mistaken. You have to apologize. Excuse me, wow. I have to apologize as this is only my third LOL cast, and I'm trying to figure out how everything works. There was one awkward moment of silence, and it looks like Nocturne's trying to drag down this Janna. Oh, caught out of position. Janna will go down, but not without a fight. Throwing down the Zephyr, trying to keep them away from Jarvan 4. Quick strike 007. And Ezreal's ultimate goes down, trying to get a pick off on Draven. Draven's not getting away from this. No, sir. If you make one mistake in League of Legends, it is so easily exploited, especially if you have no vision. Now, Draven saw that. He simply saw it too late, I think. I don't know. It's a little hard to say, really. I can't go into... Well, I can go into instant replay, but I'm not going to bother you guys with that. Jack's trying to... Or Jarvan coming in for an excellent pickoff on Nidalee. Or will it work out or not? Who knows? Mindrat coming in, trying to get the pickup as well, but Nidalee's just too fast and gets away. Kale going into the fight a little bit blind, however. And for the time being, we're going to have everyone just back off and gather under turret, more or less, for their own safety. But now the entire purple team is gathered in the blue team's bottom forest, run their blue buff, and even pink warded it. Jenna getting in a little too close for comfort, however, and that's going to cost her, as well as the blue team, giving their opponents a 300 gold lead. 450 if you count the assist that Zyra made. If I'm not mistaken, it was Zyra. And beyond that, Ezreal goes ahead and gets the bottom turret. That's just increasing their lead even more. Sorry, I just took the last swig on my vitamin water. I like to make sure I can keep myself awake. No, not awake rather, but active. Able to talk. And not struggling to prevent myself from coughing so much as I was yesterday. So that's a nice thing that we've got going. And it looks like Jarvan here is going to be, well, he realizes he's a little bit behind on his team. So he's going to go ahead and buy 3 longswords, increasing his AD. And kindly giving Draven the buffs that he so desperately needs. Oh boy, checking the score balance so far, it is at, of course, 4 kills, 4 deaths. Draven, not really. I mean, he's kind of redeeming himself in some ways, but I mean, he was barely able to pay for himself. That basically means his kills and deaths are kind of null. But he's essentially given the opposing team 1,200 gold. He's also gotten 1,200 gold, consequently, so he's able to do more damage. The question is, who's been getting all the kills, and who's going to get the kill on him this time around? Will there be? Oh, Janna's ultimate goes down in a clutch fashion, healing everyone on the blue team. And this looks like the comeback engagement they just so desperately needed. Nocturne coming in for the snipe and gets it, but does not get away. And Nidalee is now the last remaining team on the purple team, or last remaining member of the purple team that is still in this fight and trying so desperately to get away with her life. But Draven coming into the top lane here is going to be able to throw down his E, preventing her from getting away so very quickly. Ooh, missing it, unfortunately, and that is going to cost him just that much more distance. But Jarvan comes in. Is he going to be able to silence her right, or stun her right here, right now, and effectively keep her from getting away? Draven cannot throw down his ultimate because he doesn't have enough enough mana, excuse me. But finally, the Gale goes to quick strike 007, Jarvan 4. Sorry about that. Ward gets spotted as it goes into the bush, and now the blue team is forced to scatter. Excellent save there by Janna, but it comes too late, and it's a 2.5 versus a 3 fight, and that's not where you want to be in your team fights, especially with your Draven at the front lines. It was just positioning right there, guys. That's all it came down to. And of course, Janna's ultimate was not ready, so she couldn't come in and just blow the enemy team away. Will there be any consequences for Nocturne taking the blue buff here? Who knows? But now it looks like that might... Oh, that was almost a nice pickoff. And Kale goes in and gets it. Now the support is struggling to stay alive here while we still have Nocturne trying to chase down Janna and gets her. And now Kale trying to chase down... Oh, so many low health characters, but they're all still alive. Just, you know, beautiful coordination from the purple team. But I'd say that the blue team is not entirely out of this fight yet, even if we see Mindrat get wrecked here and unable to save himself essentially, excuse me. I mean, it'll mean another 300 gold lead, no doubt, but at the same time, I think all we need to see the blue team get is that one clutch engagement similar to the one that they got about 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes ago here at mid lane. And it's not like anything. It's not like that. There were no consequences to that that chase down by the purple team, as we do now see Draven coming in here and getting the pick off on the dragon, increasing the gold lead for the entire blue team. Or at least decreasing the gold deficit. Just chipping into the overall pool. But of course, this is what's really going to help out the purple team just all that much more. Easy comes in here and gets quite a few hundred worth of gold for himself, and that's going to help him build stuff even heavier. So where is he at right now? Ooh, interesting choice. Trinity Force. That gives him just a little bit of everything, so that's why he got the Sheen. And now, where are we with this? Okay. Team fight going down at middle lane. Draven getting a little over-eager, overzealous. That's the only problem that I have playing as him. Sometimes you have to overextend just to get pokes in. And to make those pokes effective, you have to have mana, you have to have this, you have to have that. But he doesn't. He's actually going quite low on mana right now. I mean, 4 versus 5. I mean, if the support is out of the fight, it could be less crucial, no doubt. Because the support really doesn't provide too much DPS, but of course, Janna's Zephyrs are what really make the fight. And now I think Jarvan might have gotten a little over-eager to diving in there, but he's out of it alive. Janna's ultimate goes down to save the entire team, and it looks like Nocturne here gets away with DPSing his opposing team's players down to where 3 of them get picked off. And Draven's going to try and get Ezreal here. Will it pan out? It looks like no, it will not in the end. So the last surviving member of the blue team is now Jarvan 4. Can he single-handedly keep the purple team from taking this one turret? We're about to find out. I don't know. They're all just focusing him down. And every time they do that, that allows the turret to get just one more opportunity to shoot and DPS down the purple team's assault. Zyra with double buffs. I wouldn't say entirely useless, but I mean, ideally not the team member that needs to get kills. Also, ideally not the one that needs to take the buffs. But when the team fights happen, hey, stuff happens. I'm sure maybe she's beating herself up over that. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, think about it. I really like this mentality that a lot of these public speakers are producing. It's like, you can't blame yourself for you can't blame your teammates for your own mistakes, essentially. And the question is that a mistake by Nocturne? It looks like no! Oh my god. Is he gonna get a triple kill? He's got Orianna's Ball of Protection. And it looks like Jarvan's been feared. He flashes and gets the final shot on Jarvan, bringing it to a double kill for himself and killing 3 members of the blue team. And now Draven, unfortunately, goes in there overcommitting, and that gives Nocturne yet another kill. He is so fed right now. He has the most kills on the entire purple team. But somewhere in all of that, Zyra did fall, and Mindrak did manage to pick up the double buff. Johnny Care is now backing after stealing some of the purple team's jungle, and it looks like everyone's just agreed, you know what, we better back. We don't have any vision here. Well, we don't have a lot of vision here. A little hard to see when you've got that blue highlight going around the champions as they're recalling. So I wonder what's in store in terms of real new significant changes when Season 4 rolls along. I'd like to see improved... eventually I'd like to see improved observing interfaces for League of Legends, of course. I'm not saying that it's god-awful, but of course it's a little difficult for the untrained eye to catch on to. And of course, I can't quite figure out just how this auto-observe stuff is working. Here we go. Oopsie. Here we go. Manual camera. That kind of keeps it from shifting away. And now, oh man, Nidalee was focused down by so much CS, or excuse me, by so much CC there, but it didn't quite pan out. It looks like Kale is getting overcommitting here. Unfortunately, he does not get away, and this could be the beginning of the end for the blue team. As the purple team is going down, Nocturne throws down the blind. The entire opposing team cannot target or attack him. Mind Rack does not get away from Nidalee's spear there, and it looks like Jarvan's going to try to desperately save the last surviving member of the blue team to support the Janna. The spear's going down from Nidalee, not quite able to hit Janna, but question is, will this be the push that the purple team needs to see? This reminds me so much of IEM World Championships back in March when I was watching it unfold before my eyes. And now it looks like we could just have an overall scenario. I mean, 2 champions not respawning, but it looks like we're gonna have the purple team slowly and steadily kind of back off, maybe try and get some pickoffs on the blue team, as they are of course down by 2 players. One now that is just respawning at the fountain. Nidalee scores herself as unstoppable, and that is not an erroneous line of thinking. With this many kills, of course, you have to stop and examine. Now more kills, dominating going down from Nidalee. And kill, unfortunately not able to keep himself alive anymore. I think the entire blue team is now just basically done for. I mean, all that's left is Janna. All the purple team has to do is target down this one turret and then go in for the kill on the inhibitor. Even if they don't, they still have minions that can cause so much damage to it. And there it is, guys. I think that's going to wrap this game up, as Janna is no longer able to bring herself into the fight. And we have the destruction of the Nexus right before our eyes. So, if you guys liked what you saw here today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This is Breaker. I'll see you guys next time. And I hope you guys really appreciate what I'm doing. Please just leave some feedback on where I could use improvement. I did, for the life of me, try to remember some of the ability names. But I'll see you guys next time.